Hi everyone and welcome to Project 31 for 2023, where I watch 31 horror films in 31 days of October, and I'll give you my review for each and every single one of them. Today, October 6th, I will review the movie Leprechaun.
Why don't you take that ridiculous mask off and step out of the car?
It's not nice to make fun of a leprechaun.
Leprechaun is a 1993 movie that starts off with Dan O'Grady that comes back from a trip to his homeland of Ireland, stating to his wife that now they are rich. Sadly, what he didn't tell her is the fact that he took gold from a leprechaun that followed him all the way to his North Dakota farmhouse. O'Grady manages to trap the leprechaun in a crate after the leprechaun takes his, let's say, first victim in O'Grady's wife. 10 years later, a father and a daughter come to stay at the farmhouse for the summer. As they show up, they realize that the house is being painted. One of the painters, Ozzy, who is a bit of a dimwit, hears the cries of the leprechaun disguised as a little girl. And of course, he releases him by accident.
Hey, Tubby, you got a light for an old leprechaun's pipe?
The menace starts to look out for his gold, and he kills everyone in his path. To add to the bad luck, Ozzy also chases a rainbow to the end of it and discovers the stash of gold that the leprechaun is looking for. From there on out, it's a race to the finish. Will the leprechaun get his pot of gold, or will the ragtag group manages to overpower him? Now, I have heard of this movie before many times, but this is the first time I've actually sat down and watched it. The only thing I knew for sure about this movie is the fact that it's film debut of Miss Jennifer Aniston. And I knew this movie has a reputation of not being particularly good. Now that I have watched it, I'm glad I did, because the movie itself is absolutely awful. But as I was watching it, horrified by the bad acting, suddenly a shining light came from the sky and placed it on my screen. Warwick Davis. This man took the role of the leprechaun and made it for what it is. The lovable hero from Willow, the movie, not the show, took the role to feed his family and to keep working in Hollywood. But he poured his heart and soul into this character and made it for what it is. Honestly, the most believable parts of the movie were him acting as a fool. Even though it was a magical creature that had some sort of magical powers, I believed him completely. I believed him more than anyone else on that cast. In fact, it kind of reminded me of Freddy Krueger. Not in a menacing way, but in how much comedy you can actually inject into a movie that tries to be a straight-up slasher horror movie with a bit of the old supernatural. And when I'm looking at the other cast and crew, it's not only the bad acting, it's the dialogue and writing that the characters had that was really bad. There are two things in this movie that kind of stuck in my head that I couldn't get around them. One issue I have is with the dad. He is either living in a fantasy world, or he is so oblivious on how much his daughter is a horny whore, it's actually unreal. Well, never mind the fact that he brought tons of cereal to a place and didn't even bother dusting the kitchen from cobwebs before putting them in the cupboard. That's just unbelievable, but okay, I get it. A little bit of suspending my disbelief. Isn't that too much? After all, he does get bitten quite early in the movie and kinda not be in the rest of it. My second issue is how unreal the character of Alex is. He is supposed to be 10 or 11, but he acts like an adult. I realize that the writer is trying to emphasize how dim-witted Ozzy is compared to how Alex is, but it was a stretch too much. Alex's character would have been way more believable if he was portrayed by an older actor, I think. And one more thing before we close this review, if you ever seen the first 2 seasons of Friends, You know exactly how Jennifer Aniston's character is portrayed in this movie. A spoiled, rich brat who is so Beverly Hills, it's disgusting. The irony of her enormous pile of shoes saving the day did not escape me at all. I will actually recommend you watching this movie just for the performance of Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun. But if you're looking for a scary movie, this is not the one that will scratch that itch. I thank you for watching. If you happen to catch this review not on the Halloween season, please check out my other movie reviews or our live Saturday show where we dive much deeper into great movies from the past.